have to do the best we can. A little better?
A little better.
All right, cool. Well, then the September 29th Improvement Service Committee will come to order. We'll note that Alder Scannell is present, Alder Gerlach, Alder Weary, Alder Burnett should be joining us shortly. Can I have an approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Gerlach to approve the agenda. Any changes? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. D, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Gerlach to approve the minutes. Any changes there? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. On to regular business. Everything we discussed tonight will go to council next week, Tuesday, as a recommendation. So we'll start with number 1, consideration with possible action on the request by Shannon Jansen, 819 Roy Avenue, for up to 25 total requests for overnight on-street parking. Director?
We've got the request as an attachment in the agenda packet. Shannon requested a similar thing last year. There have been no reported problems associated with the request that was granted in 2020. So staff would recommend approval. We do have Chris Pierlot, the operations director and parking manager, if you have any questions. And I do see a foreign telephone number that I don't recognize. I anticipate that very well could be Shannon calling in as well. So.
All right. Any questions from the committee of staff or Shannon?
I'm familiar with this. It's my district, and I approve. And you know, as the director said, this was approved the same amount last time and no problem. So I don't know why we wouldn't approve it.
So if you would move to approve, I would second it.
I move to approve.
Right.
I second it.
Hi.
1 second there, Alder Sawyer. It's a motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Gerlach to approve. Under discussion, Alder Sawyer, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment or question. I was going to ask Director Grenier or Director Pierlot, how many of these types of requests do we get a year, type of request? I realize that some are for a day or two, but is it over and above? I mean,
we typically will handle these 15 to 20 a year.
15 to 20 a year. Okay, I kind of figured it was something like that. So.
Yeah, and on approximately 38,000 residential properties in the city of Green Bay to only get 15 or 20, I think that tells you it's a pretty small, manageable issue for us. So.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thanks.
All right. Any other discussion? We do have a motion and a second to approve this. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And for those just tuning in, I see Mr. Cantrell, you're in here. The agenda was switched tonight. Improvement and services first, and then as soon as we're done, parks will be taken second. So however long this one takes, hopefully not too long, depending on how long Randy talks. I mean, how long we discuss things. Number 2, consideration with possible action to create a sound barrier or berm to buffer residential properties on parts of West Mason Street, west of Country Club Road, to the city limits on the north side of the road. Now this is Alder Burnett, and I believe he should be joining us later, correct?
He is actually being admitted as we speak.
Aha, look at that. He was waiting for this item.
I withdraw my motion.
Wait, well, he beams in. There he is, speaking of the devil.
I did not speed, by the way. I got here from across town. I promise you I did not speed.
Very good. That's the part of the solution, not part of the problem.
That's great.
You got here just in time.
Is anyone able to hear me?
Oh, yes. Who is this?
This is Shannon Jansen. I'm having a little phone issues. I've been trying to speak.
Okay. Well, you had the first item, and we did approve it. So
Okay.
if you would like, we can rediscuss it, but it did get approved already.
Okay, I was trying to say a little spiel, but it wouldn't let me unmute myself.
Oh, okay. Well, did you wish to speak to it? We can reconsider it if you'd like.
Yeah, I just have a quick thing to say here.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Well,
Committee, can we
so my name is
reconsider?
Just motion to reconsider.
Motion to read for Scannell.
Second.
Okay.
Second by Alder Burnett. Those in favor?
Well, actually, I don't know. I didn't vote on the motion, so I don't know if I.
Very
Correct.
true. I'll second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried.
Motion to open the
Is
floor.
that a nay, Alder Gerlach?
That was a nay,
Any particular reason?
because it's been passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think she had some technical difficulties, so I have no problem reconsidering it for the, especially
Yeah.
since it's her item.
It's to open the floor.
Yeah,
So,
motion by
proceed.
Alder Scannell
Yes,
to open the floor. Is there a second to
I
that?
will be
Second.
brief. Sorry,
Second
I
by
tried.
Alder Burnett. Okay, one moment, Shannon, on to open the floor. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carried. Okay, if you could just state your name and address, please.
Sure. Shannon Jansen, 819 Roy Avenue in Green Bay.
Thanks, Shannon. The floor is yours.
Okay. I have been a Green Bay resident for about 6 years, and I've owned my home for about 4. With limited parking at our residence. I have a 2-car driveway and a small garage, and all of our families live out of town. And we tend to use many overnight parking requests and exceed our allowed requests every year. We need a long-term solution for our family's parking needs. All of our family stays at least a night or 2 each time they visit, and I would like to request more parking, but not just for this year, for every year. My family and neighbors have been ticketed numerous times, and as a Green Bay resident, I hope we can make a change to this city order and that it can be made fair for all of its residents.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Any questions from the committee? Okay, Alder Steuer.
Thank you, Chair. Shannon, we have, and a couple of us alders have brought this up in the past, trying to look for a more permanent solution. So it has been looked at. Each time it's been denied or pushed down, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just saying that there has been looks at it. I'm not saying that it'll never happen again, but there have been a few of us that have looked at this over time. It may change, it may not change, but I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Alder Steuer. Anyone else have a question? Anything else, Shannon? Okay, then I'll take a motion to return to the regular order of
Motion
business.
to close the floor.
Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Burnett to close the floor. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Well, what are your wishes with this item?
I'm wondering if with the party houses for the Packers, I believe staff was going to look at some way to facilitate their constant requests for more parking. I wonder if we could expand that to any citizen who habitually or is always asking for more. If we could figure out some procedure to make this simple and easy and more doable.
Well, I guess in answer to that, Alder Scannell, what I would offer is that this is about as easy as it gets.
Okay.
The request came in. Staff looked at it and made a recommendation based on past history that this has been a good participant, and there was little or no discussion originally. Given the fact that there are so few of these requests and they are manageable at a staff level, the reason we want folks to come back annually to renew these things is so that we can verify that the condition that originated the request continues to exist from year to year. And provided that it does, we've been pretty efficient at making sure that those extensions are effectuated in a timely manner. So I don't see that there is a break in the process. As a matter of fact, I see that the process is working pretty darn well. So my recommendation would be not to change anything at this time.
Well, I thought staff was looking at...
Well, what we're looking at, especially down in the stadium district, is situations where 3 separate people call and it gets counted as 3 occurrences, or somebody calls on 3 successive nights when up to 14 consecutive days is a single occurrence.
Okay.
We're looking at ways to resolve that. On these types of things, we've got a couple of opportunities or a couple of situations where folks do come in year to year and it's the same request, the same numbers at the same address. They've been good participants. They've played well with the system. And staff understands there are limitations in some parts of the city, so that's where you make the exception rather than change the rule.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Still a motion to approve, certainly.
Motion by Alder Scannell. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Alder Burnett. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And that goes to full council next week, Shannon. It was approved by committee. So everything we do tonight at committee will go to council next week for final discussion and approval.
I would add this, Chris, parking manager. In the meantime, Shannon, you know, we have already got your address on the approval list, if you will. So we will honor your request because, like the director had mentioned earlier, we've had no problems with your request. You know, it's been over a year since you last requested it. There's been no issues. So we will honor it. So there's not any. You don't have any worries right now about overstaying your welcome, if you will, on the street overnight.
All right, thank you, Chris. And we will move on to number 2, consideration with possible action to create a sound barrier or berm to buffer residential properties on parts of West Mason Street, west of Country Club Road, to the city limits on the north side of the street, north side of the road, sorry to be particular. Alder Burnett, this is yours, I believe?
Yeah, thank you. If you recall, we briefly discussed this at the director's report, and Director Grenier was going to refer it to his staff. It was never officially an agenda item, but he was going to have staff look into it. So I had to put this on as an agenda item just because I like to have some formal discussion on it. Before I start, I just wanted to read a message that the constituent had sent me a few months back when this whole process started. She wanted the city to install a sound barrier. I put berm sound barrier, but she indicated that a neighbor lived next to Highway 54, which is West Mason Street, and had huge pine trees that hid the highway, and it helped immensely. But as pine trees eventually do, they were dying, and she had to cut the bottoms up like 10 feet, and now it's louder. She wanted to know if the city could do something. So this might be a forestry related issue too, but I wanted to know what Director Grenier's thoughts were to that. Obviously, we can't build sound barriers and berms everywhere in the city to protect from noise, but I do feel for constituents there. As the far west side have grown and as land gets developed out there, the traffic is increasing and it's creating a much louder traffic flow for a lot of reasons. So just wanted to know what the thoughts were. Can we do something? Is that be considered what staff recommends? So,
well, and until we actually take a look at a couple of different options and come up with what the costs would be for those, I don't know that I'm necessarily in a position to make a recommendation. We do want to go out there, take a look to find out, are there some areas that need more attention than others? The one thing I will say is historically, this is not something that the city has taken care of. So we do want to make sure that we're moving in a judicious manner, not to set a precedent on something that might open up a larger issue. You of all, the members of this committee, as well as anybody else associated with city government, do know some of the financial challenges we're tasked with. And rather than putting money into sound walls, we would rather put those into roads. But understand we do have a variety of different concerns we have to take a look at. So we'd actually like to go out there and take a peek around. It's helpful to know that they did have the trees out there. And that they've had to trim those trees up. So, we'll take a look at that as well. But I can tell you staff has not had the opportunity to take a dive into this item yet. They've been working on the design work for next year's projects, but we will get to this.
Yeah, Alder Weary, that's fine. I'll kind of engage with your office, Steve, or Director Grenier. So unless the committee has any other questions, comments, a simple refer to staff. A motion to refer to staff would be okay.
Excellent.
Okay, we have a motion by Alder Burnett, second by Alderman Scannell, to refer this item to staff. Under discussion, anything? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That item carries. It is referred. Number 3, consideration with possible action on a request by the procurement manager to award a contract to BESP Enterprises, LLC, to provide plowing services for the remainder of the term of the contract awarded to Express Excavating on August 20th, 2019, in connection with RFQ 3164. Director.
And I'm going to rely on Operations Director Pirlot a little bit on this. Express Excavating, was that operations contract or was that the contractor through parking?
It was a parking division contract.
Okay, so with some of our larger facilities, our larger lots, during the winter when we have large snowstorms or any time that we need accumulated snow mass hauled away to a snow dump location, Express Excavating has been doing that for us for a number of years. Over the summer, Express reached out to Director Pirlot and identified that they were no longer going to be performing that service. Essentially, they were retiring and not doing plowing anymore, and we're in the middle of a 3-year contract with them. So purchasing department went back and approached some of the contractors who were on the RFP process. In conversation with Best Enterprises, Best has indicated, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, Best has indicated that they would fulfill the contract, the remaining term of the existing contract that Express Excavating was using. So this is really a net no increase cost to the parking division. We simply have a new contractor stepping in to replace a contractor that's retiring.
Correct. Just a change of agent, and at Best was one of several recommended vendors that the old contractor suggested, because they didn't want to walk away and say, "Oh, too bad for you guys, you don't have a contractor." So that was nice of them to give us some options.
All right, I appreciate it. I did have maybe a clarification because I don't know, I haven't experienced this. When a contract can't be fulfilled because they're retiring or don't offer that service, whatever it might be, we don't rebid it. It's not, you would think maybe go out and rebid what's remaining.
It can be rebid. Several things are playing a role right now. Number one, we're approaching the winter, and along with that, we just lost our procurement manager, our purchasing manager, and a longtime procurement agent who always worked with us on those. And the process is several months long. It would get tight, and we might even be into winter before we would have a contractor. The other thing is we have had, well, there's two more things. But one thing is we've had a real difficulty getting contractors to take our contract in the past. The current contractor who's retiring from it originally said, "No, I don't want that type of work," so they didn't bid. The next year we asked them again, and luckily they bid, and they've been doing a good job for us, because a lot of these contractors want the bigger contracts, like the big mall parking lots, that type of stuff. And parking division lots are kind of small potatoes compared to those, the big box spaces in the malls. And so we're kind of their last selection, and that's if they have the extra equipment and people. The other thing too is this contract, there is a 3-year extension, but it was year by year. So it's not like they could have told us earlier, but they just before this winter that they're not doing it. I'm glad they didn't do it in the middle of the winter and say, "Oh, we're walking away." But they didn't really have an obligation to continue for the 3 years. It was a year for 3 years. So they had the option before each winter to say, "Nah, I'm out." So kind of this was a mix of the best of all the worlds. We're not seeing an increase in price. Best Industries, we've done work with them in the past, and they're a fine contractor, and they were recommended by the contractor that's getting out of the business.
Thanks, Chris.
I feel very comfortable with it.
Is it is it 3 1 years or is it 1 3 year?
No, it's 3 1 years. It was.
Okay.
So there was an option to extend.
Perfect. Okay. Alder Scannell?
I'd say under the current circumstances, this sounds best to me, and I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alder Scannell to approve.
Second.
Second by Alder Burnett. Any discussion on that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4, consideration with possible action on the review and award of the contract ESG 121 Mechanics Bay re-roof. This is the one that blew off?
Yes, sir. This is the roof that blew off in the severe thunderstorms that we had 4 to 6 weeks ago. So we did go out with quotes or with a contract for the East Side Garage. Weinert Roofing is the low responsible bidder in the amount of $79,890. This will be funded out of the DPW Building Capital Fund.
Any questions from the committee? All right, what's your wishes?
Move to approve. Second.
Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Burnett, to award the Mechanics Bay re-roof to Weinert Roofing, $79,890, low responsible bidder. Any discussion on that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Number 5, report of actions taken by Department of Public Works. A, granting of licenses, 1, sidewalk builder, MP Concrete LLC. I assume there's no problem since you're just reporting it out and you're not bringing it up, so we just need to receive and place on file.
Correct.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Burnett, to receive and place on file. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Informational Director's Report.
I just have 2 things for you tonight. First of which, last week we did go on social media and identify to the public that we've set the dates for Fall Loose Leaf Collection. So Fall Loose Leaf Collection will begin the week of October 18th and run through November 22nd. We're going to continue with a educational media outreach campaign until that starts. Once we start the Fall Loose Leaf Collection, on a daily basis, we will continue to update the social media page to identify what routes we completed the previous day, and that will give folks the opportunity to try to anticipate where we will be in successive days. So that seemed to work out real well last year. We got a lot of positive feedback from residents. They were able to anticipate and get their leaves to the curb. And we've been able to make some special accommodations for folks who have limited terrace space along those lines. If they know we're coming to their house on a Tuesday, they would rake it up close to the curb on Monday, and then on Tuesday morning they would put it out into the road for us. As long as we're working collaboratively, we don't have the piles that are sitting out there that could be rained on or have issues with that. That's why we don't allow the leaves in the street in the first place. We've been successful in working in limited cases on one-on-ones with folks that have special needs. So just want to let you know that Fall Loose Leaf Collection is coming up, and we're going to get pretty aggressive with the educational campaign to let folks know when we're coming. One item that I did want to update the committee on, it's an item that Alder Scannell had on the agenda several months back, and it has to do with pollinator corridors and no mow May. I've been in contact with the city of De Pere, and De Pere had a no mow May last year. It didn't go as well as they had hoped, and there were some lessons they've learned from that. Through their Sustainability Commission and ours, their Public Works Department and ours, we are working collaboratively on a holistic approach to not only no mow May, but a larger discussion on community pollinator and resiliency efforts, and the no mow May will be a part of that. But that is working, and we've got an active dialogue with the city of De Pere, so we'll have that program ready to roll out before May rolls around in 2022. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that as well.
All right, thank you. Any questions, Alder Scannell?
Yeah, but thank you, Director. I really appreciate your efforts in this, and I think that's a great idea, working with a municipality like that. Great, thank you.
Well, one of the things that we like about it is number one, it's the intergovernmental cooperation between two municipalities, but also it gives folks around the area some consistency in approach, so we don't have one city doing it one way and one city doing it another. If we can work collaboratively on defining the parameters for a program, then folks get that sense of consistency around the metro area, which is also important.
Excellent. Alder Steuer.
Thank you, Chair. Director Grenier, I applaud you also for that, working with the peer, but I guess the question I had was, I know you were looking at reasons why it could or couldn't work, I suppose, but, part of it, we have long grass issues as well in the city, and I'm just wondering if there's a fine balance between the NOME and some of the complaints we've had from neighbors in that with long grass, and I don't know if that's been discussed before. I would think it has.
There is, and that's why we're working collaboratively with the peer who's gone through this once already. We want to learn from their lessons.
Okay, we'll wait to hear.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the director, or we can receive and place on file?
Even place on file.
Never mind. Second.
Motion by Alder Scannell, second by Alder Gerlach to receive and place on file. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 13th. And that's all we have.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Alder Scannell, second by Alder Burnett. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Randy, when is Parks going to be starting?
Well, would be like a 7-minute break or a 10-minute break.
Director Ditchite is signaling for a 10, please.
And okay, well, or how about why don't we go quarter to?
All right. So everyone who's hanging on the line for Parks, 5:45, correct? All right.
Bye-bye.
See you then.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks.